has long hair. Remember I loved him? He has the funny videos and he'd be like, hee 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 hee. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
I mean, most of his YouTube stuff is like I mean, he did it on a computer and it's low quality. It's like the camera on the computer. He is suing BET.
Why is he suing BET?
Because BET made a man up. They had hired him. He's like RuPaul. But really fine. RuPaul is always like over the top. Like you would never see a woman walking down the street looking like that. But this guy, he's beautiful. Like people like, you don't know. I showed you his videos. But anyway, BET hired him because he's like a celebrity interviewer. He gets into celebrity.
Oh, the white guy?
He ain't white.
Oh, okay then.
BET, Black Entertainment TV. Anyway, when he got there, they made him change his clothes and change this and change that, and he felt marginalized. He was like, they made him he had something fitted, they made him put on like a loose jacket. And I guess maybe it was still his own clothes. I don't know.
I'm recording whenever you're ready.
I keep on saying whenever you're ready.
I said I'm ready.
No, you didn't.
I said I was ready. I said I'm recording.
For you.
Have a seat.
But then you say, "Oh, the light." Then you get up and turn on lights. You're not ready if you're still hopping about. Okay, you ready?
Well, since you moved, let me just adjust the camera. I'm ready now. How were you sitting? Sit the way you were sitting before.
I don't remember, baby.
You had your body angle and you were like facing that way.
Oh my God.
It was a nice little. It was a nice little pose. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Okay, look towards me. Yeah, smile. And pull your shirt. This is balled up right here.
Breasts. I'm gonna build them up though.
There you go.
They're building. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Hey rock stars, this is Carla DeRosa here, and I just wanted to update you on something that I find amazing. So you guys know that I've been 80% raw since 2011. So I have a plant-based diet. I'm an active person, and so I'm relatively healthy. So I have been doing these HealthScope scan consults, where the HealthScope scan is a technology where you scan the skin and it reads the cells, and it gives you an analysis of 12 pages. It maps your nutrient compatibility to 100 foods. It matches your health needs to about 150 different herbs, oils, supplements, and it's amazing technology. So recently I got a new HealthScope scan just because I just wanted to, just see where I was. I mean, I spent a lot of money with my doctor, who also does a lot of herbs and things like that, and I have Kaiser. Anyway, so I have a baseline on my health. I know the things that I'm working on. I know the things that need work. So I thought. So I got this new HealthScope scan the other day, and what came up was my 4 priorities. So it takes all this information, puts in your top 4 priorities. And so I kind of agree with a couple of my priorities, but one of the things that kind of blew my mind was that it said that my hormones were extremely low. It didn't really blow my mind in the sense that I knew I was getting a couple of stray hairs and I had real bad night sweats. So I had some ideas that my hormones were off. In fact, I was taking maca, which is an adaptogenic herb, or actually it's a food. It's in a powder form. Off and on. I wasn't taking it consistently. But then the thing that blew my mind was, so I know the adrenal function and the thyroid and the hormones are all tied. And so the thyroid is basically the commander of the body. The thyroid commands your metabolism, your core temperature, how you process protein, everything. When people have thyroid problems, that's the beginning of the end. It's like it causes so many other problems, and I'm not gonna make it that it's hard to heal the thyroid, but I'm gonna say that we would want to be intentional and disciplined about healing the thyroid versus some other things seem to get the right nutrients snap back really quick. Well, so the main nutrient that supports the thyroid is iodine. And so I'm looking at my health scope scan. My hormones are in the toilet, which I kind of knew. But then I look at my thyroid. My thyroid needs a lot of support. That wasn't even one of my top priorities. But in terms of my life, having these night sweats, probably more moody than I need to be, it's like, wow, it's a priority for me. And like digestion was one of the top priorities that I put, and I knew that. I mean, I've been working on my digestion forever. Talked about some structural things. I know I hadn't been working out like I should. When I'm on raw food, my body just shreds. So I sometimes get distracted that I need to, actually physically work out, have a very active job. So sometimes I fool myself and saying, oh, I'm active. But actually, everyone needs exercise, in my opinion, to keep the body rebuilding. So anyway, I kind of had an idea of the top priorities, but not the hormonal thing, not to that extent, not to the extent that it's affecting my thyroid. And one of the scary things was I saw a deficit for iodine. And I started thinking, I eat seaweed. I eat seaweed all the time. I love seaweed, which is a great way to get absorbable iodine. It's the way I teach people to get absorbable iodine. But one of the things came to my mind is I got off of white salt in my 20s because I knew, white salt isn't good for you. Not saying I didn't get my fair share from eating in restaurants, because you guys know I love restaurants. We all have our guilty pleasures. But I know I wasn't getting iodized salt, which is the main way Americans receive iodine. It's through iodized salt. I wasn't buying it. I would buy it and use it for ice. And things like that. But so really looking back, I cut off my main iodine supply about 20 years ago. And so I've been doing kelp and other seaweeds more recently, but that's only been recently. And it's even though I think it's consistent, it's not every day. It's not like, like in typical Asian diet, they're eating seaweed several times a day, every day. It's not like that. I mean, I would get, I get the nori chips and things like that, and I eat those like, maybe once or twice a week. And when I'm doing my energy soup, it has the dose, and that's not as consistent as it could. I mean, when I'm not teaching class, and I'm like, oh, do I really want to be sprouting and, making energy soup every day? No. I'll make other types of green smoothies. So when I thought about it, it's like, really, yeah, I see why I have an iodine deficit. And iodine deficit causes thyroid problems. Thyroid problems causes hormone problems. It's like this whole cascading effect. So taking hormones when my thyroid is out is crazy. It's like I got to go back to the mineral that I'm deficient in, which is iodine, which is crazy. So it's amazing because even before I got my health scope scan results, I picked up this book about iodine in your thyroid. And this doctor, he links iodine deficiencies to all kinds of diseases. And he says that it's documented by the U.S. government that they knew back in 1936 that we weren't getting enough iodine. Back in 1936. That's why they did the iodine salt. But sodium chloride is not good for the body. It's too simple. And that's why Himalayan salt with all the different minerals, with the potassium and the magnesium, that's why it's more absorbable because it's more complex. And the body and nature just likes complexity. So it's like the government knew we didn't have iodine back here, back in the 1930s. And so we just been plodding along with this iodized salt. And that isn't really even, according to this doctor, have enough iodine to keep the body healthy. It keeps the body healthy enough not to form goiters. But he's saying there's some places in the United States they call goiter belts, where just this whole place on the map where it's a high occurrence of goiters because low iodine. Crazy that we would have diseases that are very difficult or could be seen as difficult to reverse because of simple deficiencies. Simple deficiencies like iodine. So anyway, it just kind of blew my mind, opened my mind. Other thing too, when I would do the health scope scan for other people, it's like I look at their foods and the foods that the health scope scan matches them with or says that wouldn't be supportive of them. So like another thing that kind of blew my mind was all the goitrogens, the broccoli, the Brussels sprouts, the cabbage, the cauliflower. It was like, man, this is not supportive of you at this time. And that indicates low thyroid function because the goitrogens lower thyroid function just minutely. If you have a healthy, thriving thyroid, you can eat all the broccoli you want. You could eat all the cabbage you want. It wouldn't have an effect. It's only if you already have a ailing thyroid and you start eating all these goitrogens